Hey guys, how's it going? My name is theanimesmaster PT and I'm doing a review about Sword Art Online, or as many people call it, SAO, or if you live in the USA, I think you will call it SAO. Okay, I have to tell you, this anime was a great anime. It wasn't one of the best animes I saw, but it was a great anime. And let's get this info passed on. This was directed by Tomohiko Ito, and the studio that made it was A1 Pictures. And I had to tell you, I went to search who did the soundtrack, because the soundtrack of the anime is one of the best I ever saw something like that, because I heard the music in the fight. I heard the music and I felt my heart beating. I felt I was in the battle. I wanted to do something. It was really one of the best soundtracks I ever heard. It was licensed by Madman Entertainment and Aniplex USA. The networks, now this is the tricky part. Let me see if I have all of them. The networks were Tokyo MX, TVK, TVS, TVA, RKB, HBC, MBS, ATX, Chiba TV, and BS11. That's 10 networks working on this. Okay, so I decided I would talk about the characters first, then talk about the story, because this anime, the story only makes sense with the characters explained. Okay, the first character is Kirito, or as he's called in the real world, Kazuto Kirigaya. Then we have Asuna Yuki, that is the partner of Kirito and the one he loves, and you know how's the story. They fall in love, they like each other. Then we have Sugah Kirigaya, that is Kirito's sister. And the reason I say sister is because this will be a spoiler for someone who doesn't make the story less interesting, but it's a spoiler. Sugah is actually Kirito's cousin, just saying. It has a great part on the second part of the anime. Then we have Klein. It's one of the characters that appears on the first episode and one that goes till the end supporting Kirito. Like, he entered the game, he saw, like, I will talk about that later, but he saw Kirito, knew how the game worked, and asked him to teach him. And they have been great friends since then. Then we have Lisbeth, or as she likes to be called, Liz. She was the smith of everyone. She made swords, shields, and all of that. But when Kirito asked for a sword that was one of the best swords of the game, she had to go get the material with Kirito in a dangerous adventure to get the material. And she fell in love for Kirito, and when they came back, she decided to be his personal smith, to work only for him and make repairs, everything only for Kirito. Then we have Egil, that is the owner of the weapon shop. He is a tall man with a beard, and he was one of the best friends of Kirito. Like, when they did the first boss that has bosses, and when they did the first boss, he was there, and after that they have been good friends. Even in the real world, he is a bartender and Kirito likes to be with him, and he helps Kirito in all the things he can. Then we have Ayano Keiko, that is a small character. I think she only appeared on the one episode, but yeah, I really like her. She was really cute. She's an animal trainer. Like, she has a small dragon. She can train animals to help her in battles. Like, the dragon gives her life and that type of things. The dragon died. Kirito helped her resurrect the dragon. It was all for a bigger plan that he had, but he liked her. They became friends and everything. The next thing is the most surprising thing, because before I watched the anime, I didn't know about this, but many people didn't talk about Yui. Yui is one of the is one of the most important characters in the game. Calm. She's a program. Yes, she was going to be a personal program helper for players, like an emotional helper, but something went wrong and she couldn't leave the system, so she had to erase all her memories, and she appeared in front of Kirito and Asuna when they were on vacation, and since she lost her memories, she addressed them as Papa and Mama. She regained her memories and she continued to call them Mama and Papa. So you had that parents, kids thing, you know. Then you have Nobuyuko Sugo. He's the villain of the second part of the anime, and it disgusts me. That guy disgusts me. In the game he was called Oberon, the king of the fairies, but he simply disgusts me. He wants to marry Asuna by parts, you know, like the family wanted to marry them so they could get along and the company would still stay on the family and that type of things. He didn't like Asuna. He tried to rape Asuna many times and I fucking want to kill him. Then we have the first villain of the story. You call him villain, but he was amazing. Kayaba Akihiko, the creator of the game. He started the game because he wanted to have a world where he could be the god. Yeah, in the end he did a great thing. I love him. He was one of the best characters of this anime. Okay, so let's go to the review. This anime is like 25 episodes and it has two parts. We could say that. We have the first part where it is in 2022 it came out a new game for a new console that was Nerf Gear, and it was supposed to be like a helmet you put it on and you go to a virtual world where you can, you know, feel the things you can move your body. In reality you're in your bed, you don't move, but you think you can do that things in the game, move the sword, everything. It was an MMORPG game that was released, I think. And when the game came out, after a few hours, the players started to see that they couldn't leave the game. It didn't have a logout button. They were all teletransported to the middle of the stadium or something where the game started, and from the heaven comes down a black figure calling himself the creator of the game, Kayaba Akihiko, and it was raining blood and everything, and he said, I created this game, I'm controlling you, you can't live unless you beat the game. This game has 100 floors and every floor has like one big ass boss. Yes, you have to beat 100 bosses to get out of the game. And so they had to evolve. People were freaking out. They started losing their mind, and after a week or so many people suicided. And the first thing he said was, if you die in the game, you die for real. Like, it would send some messages through your brain and would kill you, like a microwave or something. So yes, many people suicided. Kirito and the others started to make he was a beater, as they call him. Like, he was a beta tester, and they call him a cheater because of that, so he called himself a beater. And that's really funny because of the way he acts when he says he's a beater. It's like he has a maniac laughter, and he's like, no, I'm not a cheater, I'm not a beta tester, I'm a beater. So if you want to kill me, try. And it's really funny. The thing is that they form small groups and try to, you know, destroy the bosses. And the first boss, they did it. One player was a beta tester, so he died, and so that then Kirito decided to work alone, so he could, he decided to work alone so that he wouldn't have to decide who gets the items, the dropped items, to have less chances of dying, and all of that things. And the story progresses. They go above some floors. They win some bosses and things like that. He starts to get a relationship with Asuna. He starts to get a relationship with the characters. All that, yes, I liked the story. It was great to see how they evolved. But one thing I didn't there was one character that it was really important for the sake of Kirito, but it wasn't really, it was important for the sake of Kirito and the story, but I didn't want to talk about her, because Kirito he was like level 50, and he entered a party and a group of people of level 20, and he didn't say anything. The people died, and he thought it was his fault, so he was really stressed up. Then it was an event, Christmas event, where if you killed the boss, you could get a resurrect potion, and he did it. And the potion said it can only be done inside the 3 seconds of that. And after he saw that, he gave the resurrection and received a message of the girl who died. And it was really dramatic, but I loved it. The thing I don't like about this anime, it's because the fights could have been much better. They do fights with like amazing bosses, they do amazing fights, but the fight goes on just for 3 minutes. Like, they have a giant boss, they say in 5 minutes the boss killed 10 guys from level 80. It's really hard to kill. What happened? We see them go in 3 minutes, the boss dies. Simple as that. And they could have been much better, the battles. The second thing that I dislike is, like, the anime has 2 parts, you could say that. The first part and the second part. There are 2 games. I will talk about that after this. Like, the characters from the first game are really important to the story, but they don't appear on the second part of the anime. Like, they show playing. He was really important. He was always a friend of Kirito, and they don't show him on the second part. It's like the first part ends up discovering the identity of Kayaba. He was the last boss. They fight. They didn't even went to the 100th floor. They stopped at 76 to fight the last boss, that was Kayaba. So yes, after that something happens. They all get off, but 300 players didn't woke up. Everyone woke up except 300 players. So 300 players didn't wake up. Asuna was one of them. Kirito was made famous by the other players, and Egil gave him a photo of someone took a photo of a girl on another game made by the successor of Kayaba, because Kayaba disappeared and the company was destroyed. The reputation was destroyed. Some other company took ahead, and it was a company that Sugah had been charging. Then they took a photo of Asuna. Egil shows it to Kirito, and he enters the game. The game is called Halo, A-L-O, Alfame Online or something like that. and it was about fairies. It was the same as the, a Sword Art Online, but instead of you using abilities with your swords and that, you use magical abilities, and you have many races and that shit, blah blah blah. You had wings, that was cool. There was one battle where Kirito fight. That was one of the best things I've seen. One of the best battles. And the thing is that when he entered the game, somehow, like, he used a nerve gear, because there was a safer model, a new model, but he decided to use the nerf gear. And then when he enters the game, something happened and he falls in a hole and is transported to a forest. In that forest, a girl that is called Lifa, that is actually his sister, finds him, and Yui also goes in and transforms to a fairy because the system didn't want to, something like that. And the fact is, the data from Sword Art Online got mixed up with the data from FM Online, so it created half. It's like the new character of Kirito has the abilities and the attack damage, all that stats were transferred to the new character, so he's like a cheater. They started, he and his sister, that they didn't know that it was each other. They came to look for Asuna, and the thing is that the characters, like his sister, didn't make an appearance on the first part of the anime. The characters from the first part of the anime that were actually good characters and important to the story didn't appear on the second part until the last episode. And the thing is, they do a real fight with so many monsters. They rescue Asuna, but Kirito gets down. As I said, Sugah tried to rape Asuna, and I fucking hate him by that. And Kayaba, the spirit, appears in front of Kirito and tells him, like, yes, you got to get up. So he gets up, he starts to say ID Heathcliff, that I think it was the character of Kayaba, and he gets the permissions of Kayaba. And Sugah was like, what the fuck? You have more permission than me? How is that possible? Oh, Kayaba, you're behind this, right? Even when you're dead, you do something to do against me. Yes. And the fact is that many people think Kayaba is dead, but I saw what happened. They told us Kayaba had suicide by himself by sending his brain waves or something to the internet. It was 1 in a million chance to get that, and he actually did. Like, they fight, it was the worst fight ever. Kirito and Oberon. And you know what happens? He killed Oberon, he saved Asuna, actually Kayaba gave him the seed of the game or something, and told him, you decide what you want to do. You can destroy it, or if you have feelings that are not only anger for this game, you can do whatever you want. So he goes to the hospital. Sugah appears and tries to kill Kirito, but it was really stupid. Kirito just took the knife from him and, yeah, I'm gonna kill you now. He didn't kill him. And what happened is that after that, they show the party they did, like all the characters. Egil, Yui wasn't because she is a problem. Lisbeth, Klein, everyone was there. And it was a really great party. And Egil said the seed that Kayaba gave to Kirito was a program that made the game, like everyone could create a game. They upload the seed to the internet and everybody downloaded it and created his or her perfect world, and Kirito made that with putting Alphem Online with the floors of Sword Art Online, and that ends the anime. I loved the freaking anime. It was a great anime. The two things I didn't like was the characters who were relevant to the story appeared on the first season, the first part. The second part didn't appear. The second thing is that they could have done so much for the battles. The battles were epic, but they did it in like 3 minutes battle. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. There were two parts in the anime that I really like. It's like when you enter the game, you get a random character. Kayaba made it so they would look like the real world, and there was a boy, like he was so small. It's not small. He was not fat. You know what I understand. He was not fat. And there was a boy that, you know, it wasn't fat, and a girl. And Kayaba says, you're gonna look like in the real world. And they change. The girl was a boy, a tall boy and skinny. That was the word that missed me. And the skinny boy was a fat boy. And when the anime ends, we see like the two of them getting awake on the hospital, like grabbing hands and everything. It was really funny. And the second part that I really like is like, in Alpha Light, the character of Kirito has the ability to do illusions. He made the illusion he was a boss from Sword Art Online, and that was really cool. But then he left one alive, and like his sister was saying, you better tell me who the fuck sent you to kill us. And he was like, you can murder me if you want, but I won't tell anything. And Kirito just goes there and says, look at this, so many items it dropped from this battle. Well, if you tell me the information, I can give you all of them. And he was like, really? Yeah. And then they started laughing, and it was really funny because his sister was like, man. So yeah, I hope you like this review. Give it a like and a favorite. And if you like the anime, I really recommend you to see this anime. I'll do a review about Clannad and Clannad after story, after I post a video that I did about Sugah or something like that. I don't care. So yeah, go see the anime. I hope you like it. Give it a like and a favorite, and I'll see you next time. Bye.